What's up everyone, Retro Obsessed here. It's an obsession, and in today's episode I show you what my favorite game is from the year I was born. And we also got a few friends and fellow YouTubers that are also helping contribute to this video. Let's check it out, guys.
What is up, guys? Retro Rick here, and you're watching my guy, Retro Obsessed.
The year was 1982. Your boy, Retro Obsessed, was just born. The #1 song in the world was Physical by Olivia Newton-John. The #1 movie in the theaters at the time I was born was none other than E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
E.T. E.T. Be good.
And the #1 toy in the world was not even actually a toy, but it was the BMX bike.
Something special seems to happen when you put a kid on a Schwinn BMX.
And there's Sonny Atherton, the national BMX champion, position 3. Atherton takes a quick lead, followed by Bobby Carlton and Jerry Field.
For every Schwinn BMX that makes headlines winning a race, thousands of other Schwinns win races you never hear about.
The most sold item in the United States in 1982. Pretty insane. But as far as a physical, playable toy, that trophy went to the Glowworm.
Play our song, musical Glowworm.
I sing you lullabies and make your days bright.
I bring you sweet dreams. I help you sleep tight. We're all your good night friends. Well, Butterfly's here for the pajama party. She's so happy she's glowing. Bedtime. Musical Glowworm will play a tune for us to go to sleep to. Night, 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 night. Sleep tight.
Musical Glowworm, Glowbug, and Glow Butterfly, each sold separately from Hasbro Preschool.
Now, I was born in 1982, just 1 year short of the infamous Nintendo Entertainment System, which some people would argue is the GOAT of Nintendo systems or the GOAT of gaming systems of all time. Me personally, I love the NES for the nostalgic purposes because that was actually the first system I ever owned. But as far as playability and the best games are concerned, to me, that trophy goes to Super Nintendo. But like I said, born in 1982, I was 1 year shy of the actual NES actually getting released. So I can't really pick any NES games because they weren't out yet. So I have to pick out of some Atari games or actual arcade games that were out at the time. And the game I am choosing as my favorite game that was released in the year I was born has to go to E.T. the Extraterrestrial for Atari 2600. Let's go, baby.
Only from Atari. Made especially for systems from Atari. The video game that lets you help E.T. get home. Just in time for Christmas. Happy holidays.
Oh, you thought I was serious.
I was just bullshitting. And you know this, man.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I could not resist that, guys. I had to throw that in there. I think that was actually literally called the worst game in gaming history. I remember watching a documentary about it, how people were literally throwing it in the garbage. People were finding it in landfills. It was absolutely insane. I had to throw that in there. I hope you guys got a kick out of that. If you guys left while seeing that video, please come back because that was not my choice. Okay, in all seriousness, the game I am choosing that was released in the year I was born, 1982, I'm gonna have to go with Donkey Kong Jr. Now, Donkey Kong Jr. is probably some of the most simplest graphics, some of the most simplest physics, and the most simplest plot and gameplay there is, but yet for some odd reason, it is insanely hard. Who would have thought that just climbing up and down a vine, swinging left to right, and jumping over some crocodiles would be so damn difficult. But to this day, I have not beat Donkey Kong Jr., which is insane. Now, Donkey Kong Jr. was released in mid-1982 by Nintendo. It is actually the sequel to Donkey Kong, but the roles are reversed, where now Mario is actually the villain and Donkey Kong Jr. is just trying to rescue his father. Donkey Kong Jr. first appeared in arcades and over the course of the 1980s was released for a variety of home console platforms. Donkey Kong Jr. is also one of the world's most ported games of gaming history, with ports going all the way to the NES, Famicom, Famicom Disk System, Atari 2600, Atari 7800, Atari 8-bit Family, ColecoVision, Coleco Adam, and Intellivision, just to name a few, and not including handheld versions of the game that were released as well. In 1982 alone, Donkey Kong Jr. sold over 30,000 arcade units, grossing over $125 million, with each arcade unit selling for over $4,000 a piece. Damn, that's a lot. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Donkey Kong Jr. as my favorite game from the year I was born, 1982. Let me know in the comments below if you guys enjoyed Donkey Kong Jr. Now, I did ask a few fellow friends and a few fellow YouTubers,
Help me help you.
to help partake in this video, make it a nice little cool video, and their responses was pretty damn awesome. It's really, really cool to see different years and see what games were released for those years. So I thought that was really, really awesome. First up, we have none other than my good buddy Jeremy, aka Wartrain Wins. Jeremy, take it away, brother.
Come on in. It's almost another world here in the video arcades of America. 1 billion games are played every month, a quarter each for Escape, which can last a long time if you're skilled. Pit yourself against the computer. Millions, mostly teenagers, have. So many, in fact, that psychologists are beginning to worry that some youths are becoming spaced out on the space games.
You can't get hooked on it.
Are you?
Yeah. It keeps on making you play the game. Once you start to play it for a while, you keep on playing it.
Any normal person would want to beat the machine.
And you come back?
Oh, sure.
Again?
Oh, sure.
Again?
Yeah.
Hey guys, this is Jeremy from the channel Wartrain Wins here, and I can't wait to tell you guys what is the greatest game from 1980. Now that was the year that I was born, but man oh man, what a significant year for gaming. When Tom from Retro Obsessed asked me this, hands down, I knew which game it was, period. I never had to think about anything else. It is Pac-Man, the OG Pac-Man right here. The crossover that has been in games like Smash Brothers. I mean, just shows you how iconic this damn character is. You can tell I'm a fan. I love Pac-Man. I had the first quarter scale arcade replica from Numbskull that they made, which was Pac-Man, a collector's edition, and it's just an awesome game, period. There's been so many ports of this game. There's been so many spin-off games from it, some better than others, but all fairly decent in their own right. And then some revamps of the franchise, which have been amazing in my opinion, such as Pac-Man Championship Edition, which is awesome. I love the Championship Edition versions of Pac-Man, just so fast, colorful, and keep the core gameplay simple and the way it's pretty much always been. You know, who would have thought that a puzzle game eating pellets, being chased around by ghosts, would become such a phenomenon. Where we had Pac-Man Fever. And pretty much 1980 was the year of Pac-Man Fever, guys. But I can't wait to see what everybody else picks for their birth year. Luckily, I had one of the most amazing games, you know, franchises in gaming come out the year that I was born. And when you think of gaming, I don't think you cannot think of Pac-Man. It's almost like a mascot of sorts to just gaming in general, along with a few other characters like Mario or something like that.
This is the current craze game, Pac-Man.
I like the little man.
He's really neat. He eats up all the other things, you know.
How about that Pac-Man song that I hear around here all the time?
Yeah, you sing it a lot. You hum it.
Indeed, and play it on the jukebox at full volume. Psychologists remind us every younger generation has to have something to scare adults. Right now, all of this is certainly it.
Thanks, Tom, for having me on, guys. I can't wait to see who's next. So, on to the next one.
Wow, Pac-Man. Now that is obviously a badass game. I love Pac-Man myself. Such nostalgia. I mean, even if you've never, ever picked up a video game or arcade unit in your entire life, guess what? You know what Pac-Man is. That's what's so cool about it. You know, like I said, you don't even have to know or understand any video games, but you know what Pac-Man is. Which is just so awesome in my book. So, Jeremy, awesome pick for 1980 Pac-Man. Awesome deal there. All right, up next, we have the amazing, the almighty, the ultra giving, none other than Zach over at Iowa Retro Gamer Dad. Zach, let's see what your pick is, buddy. Let's go.
What is up, YouTube? Retro Obsessed, aka Tom the Bomb, has asked me to take part in this. Basically saying what my favorite game was from the year I was born. And as some of you know, I was born in the golden age of Nintendo, 1987. And as I was looking through all the games that came out in 1987, there was quite a few popular ones. Contra, Zelda 2, and of course what I chose as mine, Final Fantasy, the original on NES. Now, I didn't play this much growing up. It wasn't until later on in my life that I actually played this one, and I had already played Final Fantasy Mystic Quest and a lot of other ones before I discovered this one on the original NES. And it was hard for me at first because they give no help at all where you need to go, and there's no help at all. These original NES games were so hard, and yeah, like I said, there was no help. So you had to wander for hours and hours and hope you were going the right way. And I was lucky at the time that it was the age of the internet and information, so I was able to look up on walkthroughs that helped me when I got stuck for too long. But I love this game so much. The music, which you can hear in the background right now, and just the basic story, you know, it was a basic RPG from then. 4 warriors come to gather the crystals and, you know, to save the world from an evil villain. Very basic, but still very amazing. And it was just a really fun game to get to know. And I know later on when they actually had it re-released, I believe it was a Final Fantasy Origins collection on the PlayStation. I remember getting it then again, and yes, it's just a very great game, and I was a huge fan of RPGs growing up, so I was loving this one. So I had to choose from 1987. I had to choose Final Fantasy. Thank you guys for watching. Stay retro, my friends, and back to whoever's next, or to Tom, or whatever. Stay retro, my friends. Hey!
OG Final Fantasy for the NES. Wow, such a badass game. Now, me personally, I never cared for RPGs simply because, well, I suck at them. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I never understood them, you know, where to go, who to talk to, who to see, what places to go to. I just get lost in everything in the entire map. I think honestly, I played Final Fantasy OG for the NES for about a day straight, and probably for maybe 6-8 hours, and I was lost. I couldn't tell where to go. I didn't know who to talk to. I didn't know where to go on the freaking map. I was running in circles. I just didn't understand the game. And pretty much after like, what, 6 hours I think I played, I was pretty much right where I left off, and that was that. I put the controller down, I was done. But definitely, Final Fantasy is an amazing game. Awesome pick, buddy. There we have it, y'all. There is my pick, along with a few buddies that contributed to the video. Very, very cool. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments below, guys, what year you were born and what your favorite game is from the year you were born. As always, I am retro obsessed. It's an obsession, baby. Have a good one, y'all. Be safe out there. Peace.
Hadouken!